recording and begin policy committee. We will jump right into the local school wellness policy. Let's just read through it and see if there's any additional, does anybody mind if I shut that door? Oh, okay, thanks. Alright, so this is for non-instructional operations. The goal of this policy is to provide healthy schools by supporting wellness, good nutrition, and regular physical activity as part of the total learning environment. The district supports a healthy environment where children learn and participate in positive dietary and lifestyle practices. The district shall review and consider evidence-based approaches in establishing goals for the school-based activities to promote student wellness. A wellness committee. Sure, a wellness committee appointed by the superintendent. Do we have a wellness committee?
I think we do. So, but Jessica will be able to answer that for sure. I had it at my school, and then the previous school was that.
Okay.
So it's usually, I think it's part of.
The committee is appointed by the superintendent according to policies. So, maybe comprised. Why is that blue?
That was really loud.
It was.
May be composed of the district school board, administration, food service, physical education instructors, school health professionals, community members, students, and parents, and will meet annually to implement, review, and update the local school wellness policy. You know, I don't know that we have this because I've never heard of it.
Well.
And to have that many facets within it, which I think is ideal, I don't think that has occurred.
And I'll be honest with you, in Arizona we battled with this too because it's coming out. It's from the free and reduced lunch. So yeah.
All right, nutrition guidelines. Hello. All food and beverages available for sale on the school campus during the school days shall meet or exceed the nutritional standards required by USDA's National School Lunch Program, the National School Breakfast Program, and the Smart Snacks in Schools regulations. The school day is defined as midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the instructional day. Water shall be available midnight before. Okay. That's weird.
Well, the
Water.
I would think that that's in there because we serve breakfast.
I understand that, but if we're only going 30 minutes after the last bell, why wouldn't we go 30 minutes before the first bell?
It's a federal guideline.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
guideline. Yeah, I saw that too.
If you click the over button for the tabs,
Mm-hmm.
or up a little bit, there you
Yeah.
go. Yep, that one. I believe that one, if you click on nutrition guidelines,
Over here.
yep.
Okay. Seven CFR parts. Okay. All right. Water shall also be available through water fountains and or water bottle filling stations. Water sales options may be provided through school vending and concession services. My question to you, Jessica, is this public involvement?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a wellness committee?
We do.
Who is it?
There's a whole list of people that have to be involved. The last one was convened. Mr. Massey was on it. But it's PE teachers, members from the community, members from each school, a school nurse. It's a pretty lengthy, involved process. They're the group that gets together and helps do the triennial assessment that's required in relation to meeting National School Lunch Program standards.
Okay, are they holding meetings? Are there minutes?
They should be. They have not since I've been here, so that's what I'm trying to get us back in compliance with.
Okay, I think it would be great to prepare maybe procedures or something so that any superintendent knows what's going on with respect to this.
Mm-hmm.
And can answer questions posed because it says, if the school board, if a trustee needs to be involved, the trustees never even knew it existed. So it would be good to, well, I'm not speaking for all the trustees, I'm speaking for myself. this, I mean, there's never been any conversation about this whatsoever. Not that, I guess there has to be conversation, but if we're supposed to be included, we have not been.
Yeah, and this policy committee did verify with the state, as long as we've invited those participants to this meeting, this policy committee actually qualifies as that public involvement as well.
I'm sorry, what?
So because it's, the wellness committee, because it's going through policy, board participates in the policy committee as well, that this meeting of the policy committee can also suffice as the wellness committee meeting. Because the intent of the wellness committee is to just review this policy and update it.
Okay, so then why would we have a wellness committee? If their sole purpose is to review the policy?
It's a federal requirement that we make sure that we're inviting these people. So we have to document showing that we're aware that we have to invite these people to this meeting.
Okay, so then,
In Arizona.
okay, so, but I guess what I hear you're saying is loophole, and I hate loopholes, but, you're saying because the trustee is on the policy committee, therefore it qualifies for the public involvement to meet the implement, review, and update of this policy, which this is the first time in 6 years I've looked at this policy,
Which is why
so
we got a finding on it.
that's not a good thing.
Right.
But I do believe that if there is an actual wellness committee, there needs to be, it needs to be documented, there needs to be a
Yep.
procedure about what the committee does, there needs to be a purpose,
Yeah.
and it needs to be more than just reviewing this policy,
Yeah.
which you're telling me it is more, but this policy isn't
Implement,
stating
review,
that.
and update the policy, the mission of it.
Okay, great, but it should be more than just this single policy, which you're telling me it is, but it's not stating that. Does that make sense? I mean, that's why I think there needs to be something concrete about a wellness
This
committee.
language is specific to the CFRs, the federal guidelines,
Okay,
so.
and she's right, and.
Okay, so we can't live outside the CFRs, we can't have
We
more, I mean, so that, I mean, cause me asking you and you thinking, well, you know, I'm sure we do because we had it in Arizona, but not really knowing the components of it. If when you got into your position, if you would have seen like, oh, hey, here's the wellness committee book, you know, you could have brought yourself up to speed with, okay, this is what they're doing, this is what I know. But not having that and just living outside of all of this is just super frustrating. So if we can get that implemented, I guess for you. You should be in charge of, the wellness committee in the sense that you're appointing the committee. And you should have a better understanding, so I think there should be some procedural effects to this. Any food items sold in vending machine, school stores, snack bars, classrooms, or a la carte in the cafeteria during the school day that is intended for student consumption at school must meet the requirements of the smart snacks in school regulations, except for exempt fundraisers. Principals and teachers are encouraged to use non-food items or foods meeting district nutrition standards for celebrations as a reward for student accomplishment.
So the review, Jess, please chime in. So the review is this, that we review the information and that basically the stakeholders understand the conditions of selling food outside of the lunch hour. That's usually what the policy review is, Jess. Yes, and that's why in Arizona we had the committee, but we just reviewed it. Okay, guys, here's what the policy is. We cannot sell food within these timelines, and that was what the regulation. We didn't make any changes to it because that's what it was. And you're right. I need to know, and I thought I did know because Jess talked to me, and I was able to answer. Yes, I'm pretty sure we have one. But as in the review of the committee, it's just reviewing the same thing, just so we all know the guidelines.
And that information.
Okay,
is-
but then how did we get dinged on it if Jake was on it last year and this is supposedly what they're supposed to do?
We haven't done it. The wellness policy committee hasn't been done since I've been here. And so we're trying to get back into compliance with that based off of our last National School Lunch Program review. Part of that is to get this into place so that I can complete the triennial assessments. We are in compliance every year because I do go through the schools and have to monitor
Yep.
lunch at every school. I have to do breakfast at every school every other year. And then part of that is I do walk around and look at all the vending machines to make sure that they're compliant with the Smart Snacks guidelines. So it's part of the monitoring visits that I have to complete as part of my role in monitoring our food service program. So, but again, this policy guides basically just stating that we're following the federal guidelines.
That's right. And so there's no changes to it, and we review it, but there should be no changes unless the feds review.
And I mean, if you look at what we had previously, we had a ton of stuff about, oh, we're gonna do this, this, and this. We're kind of generalizing it a little bit more because some of the stuff that was in there previously that we've struck was just, there's no way to necessarily monitor that and to ensure that we could speak intelligently that it was happening. So we were generalizing some of the, yes, kids need physical activity, but we're not specifically spelling out what that's gonna look like.
And that was there?
Yeah, that was there previously in the struck out language.
The district shall ensure celebrations that involve food during the school day be limited to no more than one party per class per month, and that each party includes no more than one food or beverage that does not meet nutrition standards for Smart Snacks in school.
How do we do with this, by the way? Because it was difficult for us.
It's difficult.
Well, elementaries, we violate all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
it comes down from the principals.
But again, it's not being sold, so that's another
Right,
thing.
right.
So
No,
this is our
There's no
guideline.
sales at elementary.
So this is a guideline, sometimes we do grades, sometimes we don't, and so it's, again, it's just, it's helping the teachers understand
Right.
this policy, which we cover with the admin team every year, at the beginning of the school year. And so it's helping the teachers understand what that looks like, what are Smart Snacks, and then encouraging them to have those as part of the classroom celebration. Cause usually when you're doing a classroom celebration, there's a list that goes out and you sign up for what you're gonna bring, and so.
Cupcakes.
So that's your one non-compliant thing.
But the more than one party per class per month, we are far under that because
Oh,
at
absolutely.
elementary, we're only
Yeah, we're not
allowed
having
2
them.
parties a year,
Yeah, exactly.
period.
And that's, see, yeah, we had a little something different where I
Mhm.
was from, so,
Yeah.
yeah. We could do a Halloween, I think we did a Christmas one.
It's usually Christmas and
Yeah,
Valentine's.
Yeah, and then Valentine's, yeah.
But what about like when kiddos their moms bring in cupcakes for birthdays?
That is not technically
Yeah,
a party that is hosted by the school.
That kind of is in lieu of,
Snack
a
for
snack
the
time.
And we had
Okay.
procedures in regards to that they couldn't do it, they had to do it on a certain day, and it had to be in the
Yeah.
last 30 minutes of
Yeah.
class.
And it
Yep,
can't be
that's-
homemade goodies, it has to be.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be
No
store-bought
homemade goodies, ooh boy.
Yeah,
I didn't hear.
Alright.
it has to be store-bought.
Oh, store-bought, okay. Can't make it.
Nutrition standards. Any fundraising requires administrative approval. The number of exempt fundraisers held annually may not exceed the number established by the Idaho State Department of Education unless special permission is granted by the Idaho State Department of Education. Any fundraising activity that involves food not intended for consumption in schools, such as the sale of cookie dough or frozen pizza outside of the school, shall be exempt. Non-food items or food items that comply with Smart Snacks in school restrictions are also exempt. Food and beverage marketing. Marketing on the school campus during the school day is permitted for the food and beverage items that meet the competitive food requirements. This includes exterior vending machines, menu boards, posters, coolers, cups, and food service equipment. Nutrition promotion. Students shall have opportunities to select healthy, nutritious food items during the school day. The district may take steps to promote wellness, such as the promotion of health fairs, school gardens, theme days, food tasting, wellness newsletters, and smarter lunchroom strategy themed meals. The school environment shall be safe, comfortable, and pleasing, and allow ample time and space for eating meals. Nutrition education. Age-appropriate nutrition education shall be provided to students. Standard-based nutrition shall be integrated into the curriculum, i.e. cooking class, food tastings, and meals. So do we have standard-based nutrition education integrated into the curriculum at elementary? Is that like in their health standards?
It's part of the health standards.
Is it?
yeah.
Okay. Physical activity, the district shall meet or exceed the physical education requirements for all students as defined by the Idaho Department of Education, State Department. The district will provide supervised recess time for all elementary students. Other school-based wellness activities, physical activities. The district will provide a variety of extracurricular activities and opportunities for physical activity to meet the needs of all students. The district will promote physical activity and healthy eating to students, parents, staff, and patrons at all schools.
You're right. I tripped and grabbed his horse.
Saved you
This
some.
policy will be reviewed with school administrators annually to encourage
That's
staff
not how you get to go home early,
follow.
Brooke.
So where did we get all this language?
I actually utilized a couple different wellness policies that the state provided.
Okay.
Coeur d'Alene School District mirrors it pretty closely. There's some tweaks to it, but the State Department provided some model policies to review.
Okay. Assessment. Each building principal will designate one or more persons at each school as the monitor with the operational responsibility for ensuring the school meets the policy. This responsibility includes completing the Idaho Wellness Policy Progress Report using the Smart Snack product calculator, ensuring the policy guidelines are being met, ensuring that all fundraisers are tracked, and ensuring that exempt fundraisers do not exceed 10 per year per school. So, who is the monitor?
It's me, and then I work with each school.
Okay, but it says each building principal will designate one or more persons at each school as the monitor.
So typically it's school clerical that does that as well.
Yep.
So when I come to the building to review everything, I touch base with the school clerical and ask for their Smart Snacks fundraiser tracking guide. I ask for basically all of that stuff for their compliance. The school building principal could be tracking it themselves. I've had a couple do it as well, but most of them have school clerical do it.
Okay,
And then I monitor it.
okay. So each building has monitors and then they report to you.
Yep.
Evaluation of the local wellness policy shall be conducted at least once every 3 years and shall include the extent to which schools under the jurisdiction of the district comply with the wellness policy, the extent to which the district's wellness policy compares to model local school wellness policies, and a description of the progress made in attaining the goals of this wellness policy. Okay.
So that's that triennial assessment I referred to.
Communication. Superintendent shall annually inform and update the board, public, parents, students, and others in the community about the content updates and assessments of this wellness policy. Period. That has not happened, ever, so we should probably get on that. Complete dietary guidelines, the latest version of the USDA's local school wellness policy implementation, the Idaho State Department of Education wellness policy guidelines, smart snack guidelines, and tools may be made available on the district website. Is that being done?
Yes.
So on the communication,
Mm-hmm.
how is that, what's the expectation for the reporting? Is this a report? Because I know, the superintendent put out a monthly newsletter and there was always, a variety of things in there, and one of them was,
And it's wellness.
was the wellness and the,
Which I will do the same.
which I would think that would be part of that communication. Would that fit that bill?
Well, given that,
Or does that have to speak specifically to the wellness policy?
Good question.
I would
So
say,
it's- I apologize.
go ahead.
It's in relation to the triennial assessment, so I don't know that it should say annually inform the board, other than the fact that if the committee's meeting annually, to just double check that all of the language makes sense. But the triennial assessment is what we're required to report on and have on the district website, and that's once every 3 years.
And that's-
Except with this assessment level, it's my assumption
Mhm.
that this is being done annually.
Yeah, that is being done annually.
Okay, so
but
then
the
I would
actual-
think that's why that there is some reporting
Yep.
that's being made available to everyone
Yep, the
that we're in alignment with the wellness policy. I mean, I don't think the reports that you have to do, triannually. Wish that's not the right word, but anyway, when you have to do a report every 3 years, that's, I do not believe at all the intention of this statement. This statement is intentional to annually what we're doing.
Right. And according to the finding, the only thing we're required to put on the web is the triennial assessment, that we have to make that available to the public.
Okay, and that's fine,
Yeah.
but that's not what this is talking about. This first sentence.
Yeah, but I'm communicating on that, and like I said, I kinda did the same thing, I just sent out
Yeah,
the
on a monthly
information and-
newsletter.
Yeah, because the policy has not, the regs have not changed for as long as I've been a superintendent. So I will be more than happy to give an update to the board, but it's gonna be the same update by all means, and that's not a problem. I'm just not quite sure on what I would update on, beyond these regs. So I just need some guidance on that, Michelle, sorry.
Well, that is something that needs to come from the board,
Okay.
not me. With specificity of expectations, because like I said, for 6 years, if it's been buried in a superintendent blast out on Skyward to all the parents without it actually being made aware to the board, that's where it's like, it's a little challenging to have to dig and find what it is that you're supposed to know when no one's been very forthcoming saying, hey, by the way, this is what this is. Does that make sense? So that's why, I mean, the fact that there's supposed to be some annual report that, or annually informing, doing it monthly, how would I as a trustee know that that's my annual report, number one. But if it's not supposed to be a big deal, then I think this policy needs to state that. And I don't know that it does, because there's all this that needs to go on. So,
Jessica, on your annual reports, what are you reporting on? Can I ask that specifically?
That we're in compliance with the monitoring visits related to SmartSense.
So basically, you did the monitoring visits, right?
Yep.
And that's what I would be reporting on.
so then to me, when that has been accomplished, it sounds like, because if you're doing this to every school throughout the entire year, is that correct?
We have to have them all completed by, I think it's January 28th.
Okay, so then I would assume at a February meeting, there would be hey, we have completed all of our well checks, or whatever we're calling that. At all of the schools, we find that everybody is in compliance with the policy. It's something that simple.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but the fact that it needs to be done, if it's not being done and we're trying to say it's being done in different ways, that just to me doesn't work. Because when someone else has to pick up the ball, they don't know, and we have to hunt and find. Complete dietary guidelines, the latest version of the USDA local school wellness policy implementation, all smart snack guidance tools. Okay, there we go. May be made available on the district website, so they don't have to be there, I guess. Records retention. The district shall retain the following records relating to the wellness policy. The written local school wellness policy, documentation demonstrating the community was involved in the development, implementation, and periodic review of the wellness policy, documentation of the assessment of the wellness policy, and documentation to demonstrate that the public was notified annually as required by this policy. Yeah, I'd really like to see what our documentation is on all of that. Okay.
You do. So how much of that, I mean, in what format is it reported? A statement?
So the written local school wellness policy is a policy that we're currently reviewing. The documentation just to demonstrate community was involved in development implementation. That's again that wellness committee or the attendance from this that we sent it out publicly to everybody to attend. I did ask admin team members if they're available to attend today's meeting. Parents are invited to this policy committee meeting. So we have documentation of which meeting this was held at. The documentation of the assessment of the wellness policy, that's that triennial review, and all of the monitoring visits that I do at each of the schools. And then the annual notification, that is the email that goes out from the superintendent, and I just keep it, it's all stuff that I have to present to the state when they come and audit us.
So you've got all that documentation.
Okay. So when is the public notified annually?
It usually goes out at the beginning of the school year when we do our non-discrimination and stuff like that.
Okay, so then are they notified about last year?
The previous school year, because that was completed January.
Well, no, she's saying it's going out at the start of the year,
Right.
Because
but
we're
if
just
we're not
notifying
completing.
them of the wellness policy.
You'd have to, so it's not reporting all that.
No, we're notifying them that we have the
Mhm.
wellness policy in
Yeah, just
place.
that, yeah, 'cause it's just that we
Okay.
have one.
I just think we
You
hide
were
behind a lot of
involved,
things, so.
And many people were involved,
Frustrating.
and we assess that we're covering it. But you don't have to deliver all that data to.
Okay.
The only thing I'm required to put on the web is the triennial assessment. Which I
So
complete
we
until
notify
Thursday.
them that we have the policy, not that they're allowed to participate in the policy? The
no,
wellness committee?
no, we invite them to participate in that as well as part of this.
Okay.
Because the public is invited to
So-
all the meetings, no matter what. I mean, other than,
Pretty much.
On this,
so we've got it covered no matter.
Mhm.
okay, so when did we send out to the public to come to this meeting as part of the wellness committee to be part of this
It was-
policy?
I reached out, we put it on for policy committee. It wasn't specifically said a wellness committee, it was the policy committee, the invite that
Okay,
had this
and
one
we're
on.
covering
So
this particular
that's where I
subject.
get really frustrated, because there are people out in the committee, or out in the community, that feel like if we're saying we have a wellness committee, where's information on that? And if we're not giving that information because we're kind of doing it a little differently, then we should write the policy a little differently.
Right.
Or we should
This is
do
a-
something.
Yeah, so unfortunately, this is a federal requirement, so I will
Well,
just
then
make
if it's
sure.
a federal requirement, we need to have it.
So then I will make sure that it's on the website, so that people know what the wellness committee is, and I will make sure that invites go out in the class dojos and however I will ensure that that happens in the future.
Perfect. So, obviously, nothing's, I like what we had. Alright, so thank you for taking the time to, get the language and whatnot from Coeur d'Alene and then, I guess, the state website. Alright, and then emergency school closures. So that one, I guess, can go out for survey. Okay. Please.
Sounds good.
The Board of Trustees, upon recommendation of the superintendent, may authorize an emergency school closure because of extreme weather, hazardous travel, unsafe or unhealthy conditions, or for other emergencies as may be determined by the board. Whenever an emergency school closure is declared, the schools affected shall cancel all extracurricular activities and or practices unless notified otherwise by the superintendent. If practical, canceled activities may be rescheduled at a future date. Okay. Anything need to change on that?
Can you go to the bottom? Is there Idaho code down there?
Nope.
No, okay, should be, there's Idaho code on emergency school closures. If we can look that up, because when we do have an emergency school closure, we have to certify that with the state. And so I think if we just have that statute in there, it'll cover us. 33,
That's what I thought
yeah.
it was. Instructional hours, to a total of 11 hours due to adverse weather conditions. Okay, so is there another?
Basically, it says that their statute, it says it has to go before the board has to
Right.
approve, yeah, and then
No, I know.
get the certification. That's not it.
That's not it.
That's
I think that's
regarding certification.
Certification.
Oh, gotcha. So where is it?
Here, I'll go out to finance, I bet it's out there. Idaho State Department of Education. School finance. And then if I go into forms, emergency closure form. It is. On the emergency closure form. It shows on the emergency, the certificate of emergency closure, it is Idaho Code 335112 and 331003A.
Okay. 33512, but it's.
And then
like
33,
512, C2.
and then 33,
33.
dash 1003A.
You'll have to fix however you're.
Oh, this
doing
is the
it.
fun one.
What's that?
This is the fun one, right? School closures.
Where's my symbols? There we go. And then, okay, so 3310, 3310. No. Oh no, 331003. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was thinking we needed to put some language in there, about certification, but I guess it's not necessary.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we have to do it, it's just.
Right. It is just what it is. So, I did instruct Sierra to send out the food wellness, the one we just completed.
Okay.
Are you good with having this sent out as well? Just add a comma after unhealthy
And I'm
conditions.
gonna, you also put a note on it, I'm gonna take a hit either way, no, I'm joking, by the way. Yep, I'm fine with that.
Okay. What were you gonna say?
Oh, just a comma after unhealthy conditions.
Well, I put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So this one can also go out for survey. Fire drill and evacuation plans.
Let's see if I can take care. I didn't see it.
So I do like how this is here and then underneath
Okay.
instead of the dash, but whatever you choose to do is fine.
Yeah, I can put it underneath, no
Okay.
problem.
Goal. The board recognizes the importance of being prepared for emergencies and the role fire drills play in being prepared. Okay.
You still need
The emergency evacuation drill trains staff and students and evaluates their efficiency and effectiveness in carrying out emergency evacuation procedures. Monthly fire drills are required for all occupants. The frequency shall be allowed to be modified in severe claimants, and the fire code official shall have the authority to modify the frequency. The first evacuation drill of the school year must be completed within 10 days of the beginning of classes. Do we need to state that?
Yeah, it's part of the law, 10 days, yeah, it's part of the law.
I understand it's part of the law. What I'm asking is, do we need to state that in a policy?
I would say yes,
Okay,
because I wouldn't know otherwise, I mean, and I just learned it, to be honest with you.
okay. The reason why I'm saying, I guess we can ask Jake if when he can mosey in here, if he can. My concern is, I mean, to me, you're opening up, a door that crisis prevention works to close. If we're telling people within the first 10 days that each school is gonna be having a fire drill and evacuating kiddos out into the open.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm curious if we need to put that on.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, you're saying hiding.
Well, I'm
For
saying we
safety-
don't, but I don't think we
safety
need,
reasons.
yes, I don't think we
Sorry.
need to identify that on the policy. I mean, and we're telling them that it's monthly,
But-
which is fine, because you got 30 days, but,
But if you remove it, then how is anyone gonna know?
Right, and again, it's required, from what I
Because
read.
it is a requirement.
Yeah, we have to
And
provide
we go by
documentation.
that.
Yeah,
And, I know at the elementary level, we even put out you know, an alert, notification, so that parents
Before it
don't.
happens?
That there will be one like that week or
Right,
something
you
like
know,
that,
the date,
not
what
the
time.
exact date or the
Good,
time,
Good.
so that they know,
What
so
to
they can be
expect.
prepared and not freak if they drive by and see.
Steve's a lot.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, well, we haven't had a policy for fire drills and evacuation plans. Which leads me to believe that, me personally, I think we need to be as vague as possible. Letting people know we do hold them is sufficient. The when, the how, the why, all of the things that opens the door to cripple crisis prevention, it drives, I don't know that we should be doing that.
So I would say if we don't want it out on public policy, maybe if we have something in our admin handbook, if there's something in our admin handbooks.
But isn't it in the crisis prevention book?
I can't tell you, can't speak on it. It's Jake's wheelhouse right now, or sandbox. He's, yeah.
So that's, I mean, yes, teachers need to know, the expectations, absolutely. And letting parents know, hey, we hold them, I think is appropriate. And if it's an expectation that we notify them a day in advance, that, hey, we're gonna maybe hold one tomorrow, whatever. But I don't think it needs to be written in policy.
In a predetermined, on a predetermined date, at the school's predetermined date. That way it's not giving an exact date, but it's also not.
I think it's an assumption already that if someone understands, we don't tell them. when.
We don't tell them the date.
Yeah, you just within 10 days. You know, that's what Jake.
It's
says.
happening.
Well, and since, Jake was tasked with making sure, I don't know where he got the information from, but that's fine. I don't think that needs to be in the policy. I really don't.
Well, it's Jake's sandbox, so until he gets in there, I'd like to keep it in if you don't mind. Because he did review it.
Well, actually, no, he created it because we didn't have the
Oh,
policy.
that's great.
So.
Well, he reviewed it and he created it, or created it and then reviewed it, good point.
Fire
But that's,
Go ahead.
so I know the first fire drill is mandated, it's got to happen that first week.
I understand that, and I think that's a component of procedure, not policy.
Well,
Okay.
But I mean, if you wanna tell the world when we're doing things, you're putting a bigger burden on our crisis prevention, is my only thing. And, you know, letting them know, yes, we're definitely having fire drills, and we're telling them monthly. So why do we need to get down to, you know, if you really wanna monitor our schools, check out the first 10 days. I mean, why would we do that? I guess, that's my only concern.
Again, the person to address it, and that's fine.
Fire drills shall be held at unexpected times and under varying conditions to simulate the unusual conditions that occur in case of fire. Emergency evacuation drills shall be conducted at different hours of the day or evening. I don't think we do any in the evening, do we?
Because that would be non-school time.
During the changes of classes, when the school is at assembly, during the recess or gym periods, or during other times to avoid distinction between drills and actual fires.
I don't know that we need all that detail, just that we're going to do it at, different times in different conditions.
So the
we don't
first
need to be,
sentence is
yeah,
sufficient.
we don't need to be specific, it's gonna happen, it could happen at lunchtime, it could happen at recess, blah, blah, blah.
Right. I'm just gonna do this. Assembly points. Outdoor assembly areas shall be designated and shall be located a safe distance from the building being evacuated so as to avoid interference with fire department operations. The assembly areas shall be arranged to keep each class separate to provide accountability to all individuals. Records shall be maintained of emergency evacuation drills and include identity of the person conducting the drill, date and time, notification method used, staff members on duty and participating number of occupants evacuated, special conditions simulated, problems encountered, weather conditions when occupants were evacuated, and time required to accomplish a complete evacuation. Fire safety and fire evacuation plans. Fire safety and evacuation plans, emergency procedures, and employee training programs shall be approved by the fire code officials and be prepared and maintained by the school. Is that happening?
I know we all have a copy of all those different plans and evacuation, they're posted in the classrooms so that, you know, they can be referred to.
Okay, but
Yeah, I saw when I was
That's
doing.
part of the
what I'm
building
asking
principles.
is, are they approved by the fire code official?
I would
Yeah.
certainly think so.
Okay. Fire evacuation plan. The district shall ensure the safety and health of students and staff by having in place at all times an emergency evacuation plan. The district will cooperate and coordinate with city, county, and state emergency personnel. The district shall review its emergency evacuation plan annually to determine whether the procedures in place require modification. The plan will be posted in the district office as well as in every school building in the district. The plan will be provided to each staff member at the beginning of the school year. In addition, the district will educate parents and patrons in the district by providing periodic information to the plan. Fire evacuation plan must include emergency egress and escape routes and whether evacuation of the building is to be complete or were approved by select floors or areas only or with a defend-in-place response. Procedures for employees who must remain to operate critical equipment before evacuating. Procedures for use of elevators to evacuate if applicable. Procedures for accounting for employees and occupants after the evacuation has been completed. Okay, all of this,
Is that more policy or procedure?
okay, the preferred and any alternative means of notifying occupants of a fire or emergency. Okay, well, all of this information is fine and dandy. I don't know that it needs to be in the policy.
Just that we will have a plan and it's evaluated and modified.
Okay. So, where was your fire evacuation plan in the building?
There was
District
a-
office?
Yeah,
Or every room?
no, it was in, I mean, there's individual room
Right.
plans, but the
Right.
whole,
The master
the
plan.
master plan, I think
It's
was
just
all
in the
housed within
office.
the district office, but we all knew exactly where everybody was supposed to go.
Right.
And it didn't matter if I was in my own room or if I was in the library or wherever.
Right.
That was all posted, so we know what, and the
Okay,
the
so
whole
it's posted
process.
within the building, right?
Mhm.
Okay. How do we provide, or do we educate our parents and patrons by providing periodic information regarding the plan? What are we doing for that? Do you know?
I'm
Or
not
is
sure
that-
what specific information are we informing them of, just that we're having them? I believe, there's a form which follows that.
Right, which all of this is fine and dandy,
Yeah,
I just
it's-
don't think it
It
needs
goes out to
be-
teachers, but I believe
Mhm.
that also, if not the same,
Mhm.
questions also went out to parents as a follow-up.
Well, and that's fine, I mean, I do
Just
think
saying, you know,
to
we had
inform our
this, we had this
parents.
drill, everyone participated, you know, we had, took us 13 seconds to evacuate the building, that kind of stuff.
Right, and I think it's important to notify the parents of all that, and I think all of these procedural steps absolutely, should be part of either a crisis plan or our back to school for teachers. Here's your information, and here's the information for parents. I just don't think it needs to be on the policy. Stating.
Again, I like Jake's opinion, so, cause it is his wheelhouse, it's where he's at, and he's in charge of safety, so.
Well, I don't think it's very safe to disclose everything out on the internet when we fought and worked so hard to maintain safety, but we've also not done a good job in making sure that we have all of the components where they need to be, meaning policy in place to say this is what we do have this going on, and then the procedural component within the crisis plan, I think, needs to stay in the crisis plan. The fire safety plan must include the procedure for reporting a fire. Again, this is more. Alright, the procedure for reporting a fire or other emergency, the life safety strategy and procedures for notifying and evacuating occupants, site plans, floor plans. Yeah, this. I don't know its purpose for being in, I mean, if we're getting a detailed explanation of what is expected within
That's how I'm getting it. This is what needs to be in
it,
plan.
right? I just think it needs to be part of the procedural component. Cause I think it would be more appropriate, let me see here. Go back, okay.
Fire safety and fire evacuation. Plans, what's the differentiation between those?
Well, to me, a fire safety plan means that we are working diligently to ensure that we don't have hazards that are gonna cause a fire. But I would think that, to have a paragraph similar to this would be more appropriate, stating that, or we could just say fire evacuation and safety plans. Well, we've got it both, well,
Got it there.
right. So, what if? District shall ensure the safety and health of students and staff by having in place at all times an emergency evacuation plan and a evacuation plan. The district shall review its these plans annually to determine whether the procedures in place require modification. Fire safety and evacuation plans, emergency procedures, and employee training programs shall be provided by the fire code official and be prepared and maintained by the school. And then that way,
That all becomes
this whole thing.
the whole procedure.
Correct, this is all procedural. In the event of a fire, all incidents of unintentional fires will be reported to the building principal, and the building principal will report the incident to the district office, whether or not fire department response is required. All department heads, supervisors, etc. will ensure that their employees are aware of the location of fire extinguishers and fire alarm pull boxes in their work areas. Okay, this is interesting language. All employees should be made aware of the location of fire extinguishers and fire alarm pull boxes in their work areas. Okay, so we're saying it twice.
That's repeated.
All employees should be made aware of emergency evacuation routes for their work area, the location of the fire exit window, etc. Okay. Alright, so, okay, all incidences of unintentional fires will be reported to the building principal, and the building principal will report the incident to the district office. Whether or not fire department response is required.
Do they have to be unintentional? I mean, can't think of any instance, particularly at elementary, when we would have fire. But
So you're thinking all fire incidences.
all fires
Yeah.
incidences, not unintentional.
Fire incidents.
In Arizona, we didn't even have fire drills.
Did you have dust drills?
We had emergency drills is what we called them, so, cause
That was
since
different-
Florida and
different
that guy
emergencies.
pulling the alarm to, get the kids out, we didn't do that
Yeah.
anymore.
Well, so we always, so our thing at elementary is if there's a fire drill,
We always hold.
we hold
Yeah.
until we hear
Yeah.
something from the principal
Yeah.
saying go.
It was supposed to be a joke because of all your dust storms.
Where'd you just start that?
It was supposed to be a joke. You said in Arizona. He said, "Did you have dust
Oh, yeah.
drills?"
Dust drills, come on, girl, it's not that bad there. Now Phoenix, yeah, maybe. The booze, yeah, they're pretty nasty.
I think I'll go back up here since I've made modifications. So that we just know. I make other changes. I think I did, didn't I? Nope. Nope. Okay. So I would think all employees shall be made aware of the location of fire extinguishers and fire alarm pull boxes, in their school buildings or work areas. And the reason why I say that is, you know, we've got our transportation
Right,
building and those.
right, I just took
they're
work
not
areas to
school.
be the schools as
Classroom.
well. I mean, it's,
To me, it's language that's from a
Yeah.
corporate office, so let's make it more school friendly in their school buildings. Because I would imagine that, you know, well, I don't know, does every room have a poll?
every room have a what?
Does every
A poll
classroom
station?
have a
No.
poll station?
No.
Okay, so, all employees should be made aware of the, fire extinguishers. Okay, so this is a duplicate, should be made aware. Okay, so let's revamp this. Call box edits, comma,
Wasn't that what your evacuation routes are? You don't need,
you don't think we need to say fire exit windows?
no, because your evacuation routes, because we
Okay.
have, 2 routes. Other
Okay.
than my old classroom, hint, hint.
And emergency evacuation routes in their school buildings. Do not use elevators in the event of a fire except as authorized by the fire safety plan. In the event of a fire, all staff members will guide students. Okay, I don't necessarily, okay, well, I guess we can leave that language in there. In the event of a fire, comma, all staff members will guide students and any other non-informed visitors. Nice. What does that mean? Wouldn't it just
I
be
would just say it is
visitors?
Visitors.
Visitors.
Well, I would be a visitor, but I'm informed, I guess that's what it is.
But you might not be specific to that building.
Right,
Depending on your location, that is going to, your, exit is gonna be different.
Okay, so that is good. IDAPA. Okay. So you said there was code for the 10 days?
Me?
Somebody did.
within the first 10 days.
Yeah.
That was me.
It wasn't me.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, fine. Well,
Code.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm not
say,
financial
Jake,
science.
Well, if you- the
Jake
only-
had told me there was code, and that's
10
that
days.
to me.
the only Idaho code here is adoption of the International Fire Code and the fire safe, or the safe
So
environment.
it does say this here, in Idaho, the first fire drill of, the school year must be conducted within the first 10 days of classes.
Okay, what code is that?
I'm looking.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Oh, and I didn't put the names of those codes on that other policy, so please,
Yeah, I'll put them in there.
thank you.
I review them all for a double,
Yeah.
triple check.
So what's pulling up is, from the state fire marshal. But that's. Looks like it's a rule.
It's a non-DAPA,
Yeah,
that's it.
it is.
Okay, so I got that,
So it's administrative code.
so then it's already listed, cause we've got IDAPA 0802-03-160. Okay, so we don't need that, go away. Okay,
So by having that for reference, you don't have to be specific within the policy.
No,
And
just,
if they
I mean,
really, they really wanna know, they gotta look it up.
that's right, they can look it up and find it. Okay. So, we can have, since he's not here, Jake just review,
Mhm.
and if he wants to ask why I chose what I did.
Okay.
He can call me. Otherwise, I think,
We can put it in the comment section, to say
oh, good idea.
procedures.
Oops. Oopsies. Good lord, having a day, still woozy from yesterday.
So
There
we're
it is.
slowing down. We're at 84 kids from last year. Oh, that's last week, actually, sorry, I lied. Yeah.
So good at doing that. There we go. Okay, I think he had that struck out. Alright, so, yeah, let's have Jake weigh back in on this, get his thoughts and perspectives. If Jake is like, think it's great, whatever, I believe we can send it out as
Okay.
long as Rusty reviews it again and thinks that it's, I guess, safe and not disclosing too much information.
Well, I think it's fair.
Um, Community relation goals. Sweet. Alright. The board, through the leadership of the superintendent and the assistance of the staff, will seek to enhance the district's community relations by striving to achieve the following goals. To encourage and enhance communications, understanding, trust, and mutual support between the district and the people it serves. To increase both the quality and quantity of public participation in school affairs, activities, and programs. to strengthen and improve relations and interactions among staff, trustees, citizens, parents, and students. To promote understanding and cooperation between schools and community groups. Okey doke,
Simple to the point.
pretty much. Yeah, you put this on here just because it's one that has not been reviewed.
I
forever,
actually
think.
had, this was like way before anything,
Okay,
so,
okay.
yeah.
I think it's all 2007.
2007. Yeah, it is 2007. I was just wondering, did you happen to spy on anybody else's pages to see if there was anything
Up and coming.
comparable?
Comparable? No, I did not.
Okay, that's fine. I think it's fine. There's no law that it's reflective to, and I do think that's a good stance for the
Strive
district
for.
and the board and
Agree 100%.
everybody. So, I would say, as long as Rusty's good with it, it can go out for
I'm
survey.
absolutely good with it.
Okay.
Well done, Bowman.
Alright. Patron participation in meeting, this one I know is.
These rest of these ones, I believe, will probably go really quick.
Okay, we should really put these in chronological
Yeah.
order. Cause I thought this was just recently redone, but I might be thinking of a different one. What was it prior? Oh, 1520, okay. So where is? I thought
Which
that
one
was
is
a
this?
block. This is 4105. Oh, maybe it's on the, I'm looking for the, okay. Public participation in board meetings. At each regular and special meeting of the board held in person or virtually, the agenda may provide time for public input. I don't think we have to provide time for public input at special meetings, cause we usually don't. Do we know if statute requires that?
Statute says that it's, offered as voluntary, I believe.
In Arizona, you don't have to.
But since, again, it says
Well,
may.
well,
It doesn't say
I
will.
thought there was some statute that
They
came
did
out
change some
recently.
things. There was, but I don't know if it's special.
Well, that's interesting. Why is that yellow or purple, I guess?
No idea. I did no purpling.
But the verbiage is may rather than shall.
It does say school boards are required to allow public comment, but they can establish rules for its conduct.
Right, but is it
Yeah,
at
in a special
every
board meeting, that-
special, is it
Yeah,
at every
reg-
meeting? Is
or
it just
regular.
regular?
Ooh, I had that written down. Might be in
You change it to or.
Yeah, it says in Idaho, school board meetings, including special meetings, are subject to open meeting laws. Oh, never mind. That generally require, yes, that generally require public access and participation. So yes, it does indicate that in special.
We have to have it.
First special?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But this, where are you reading that in?
So.
33,510?
Yeah, let me find
Okay.
it, hold on.
says, each Board of Trustees shall provide the opportunity for members of the public residing in the school district to comment on school and education matters at regular meetings of the Board of Trustees. Each Board of Trustees shall hear public comment if offered by a member of the public prior to taking action on an agenda item. Nothing in this subsection restricts a Board of Trustees from establishing reasonable standards for all public comment, period of the meeting, including time limits and conduct standards.
It says in Idaho, school boards are required to allow public participation, including public comment, at the regular and special meetings, a recent change in law effective July 1, 2025.
Just came around.
So Idaho.
This was
code-
amended in 2025.
I mean,
So the language, chapter 8, or chapter 89, section 1, page 405. I'm assuming that's of the legislative. But right here, it's amended 2025, so it's added the language that it requires. The key change was that public comment is no longer limited to items on the meeting agenda. That was the significant change, because too many boards were, we changed that years ago. I mean, we initially, our policy was it has to be on the agenda, and people were frustrated because they couldn't express themselves to the superintendent. So when we reviewed this policy in when was it? When was that? It was 2020, I think it was 2020. I'm almost positive it was in 2020. We took that language out and we said they could talk about anything. And because I remember the superintendent and I not seeing eye to eye on the fact that, hey, people could just comment and talk about anything. Which it's like, how else is the board supposed to know if people aren't allowed to make comments or have questions or bring something to our attention? So we changed this long before the law got changed within our district, that people can talk about anything that they want to bring forward. It doesn't have to be on the agenda. That was the significant change within the code. But I don't think we're required to allow, at least not by the language that's in here, public comment at a special meeting. We can if we want, but we traditionally don't.
yeah.
I mean, we've held a few special meetings and had public comment because there was so much, but
I would think it is.
we are required to hold it at the regular meeting.
Right.
But I don't
Whereas
think we're required.
Special meeting, I would think the reason it's a special meeting is because there is,
Well, if we
the
just
community
need,
wants more input into what maybe.
not always,
maybe-
because sometimes things get brought to the board that like, hey, we have to have a decision right this second. So we can meet, hold a meeting and be done. I mean, I think our quickest meeting was 5 minutes, but it was because we had to make a decision and it was just right that quick. We're not holding a big to-do and we're only addressing one item. So, but when we know, or at least I should say when I,
There again, the language says may.
but we are
rather than-
required for regular. So may is not the appropriate word.
So at each regular meeting, the board will,
Okay.
and special meetings may.
So it does say this. This is in Idaho's school boards are required to allow public comment at regular meetings, but not necessarily at special meetings. While Idaho mandates that boards provide an opportunity for public comment on school and education matters during regular meetings, there's no such requirement specified for special meetings.
Just separate that, make it two different sentences. Regular meetings are a must and specials are a may.
Can I ask a question about how that second meeting of the month, I saw that it's always posted like as a special meeting,
Yep.
but isn't it on our, isn't it on the schedule that goes out to the public that we have posted, that it's on that calendar? If it's on the calendar, wouldn't that make it a regular meeting because it's reoccurring?
There is constant debate back and forth. The reality is we're not required, nor do we have to hold a special meeting, which gives the board the flexibility. If there's nothing that we need to chat about and get together for, then we don't have to hold the meeting. That's why it's special. It shouldn't be going out. It should just be the regular scheduled meeting, and the board knows that we're going to meet for a special meeting. I don't know why that was something the previous superintendent felt had to be splayed, because it was regular special, regular special, regular special. I know we have to notice when our regular meeting is. Our regular meeting is the first meeting. So the special meetings, we don't have to put out on our regular meeting notice, and I have asked that that not happen. If it happened again, I can only say so many words, because it's a special meeting. So we're not required or obligated to hold them, but because some of the trustees don't like having 4 to 6 hour meetings, they wanted to break it up a little, which I know for our regular meetings, we are conducting the business of the financials, the HR. We're conducting everything that everybody's reporting on, and then the special meeting is held just to sort of catch up all the other stuff that the district may use to weigh in on.
Okay.
So, I mean, otherwise, I have no problem if the board wants to claim we're gonna hold 2 regular meetings, because the statute doesn't state that it can only be 1 a month. You could hold 1 every single week, I suppose, if you wanted. But, hey, we might be getting stuff done, you never know.
This weekend
But,
is.
but I'm just saying that I think there's this misconception that, regular meeting, because when I came on the board, we held 2 meetings, and then there were trustees that didn't want to hold 2 meetings, so then we went to 1 meeting, so then we just, but I do think we're becoming more and more productive, which is beneficial. So I guess maybe it's a conversation we should have with the board.
Yeah, because I think it is pretty much, if you're meeting at a designated time and a designated date, and it's happening on a regular basis, that's what qualifies it as a regular meeting.
Is there a definition in statute for that?
Whatever.
Because if there is, then we need to comply with that. But,
It might be an open meeting law.
okay. Alright, I guess I could just go here.
So in Idaho, a regular board meeting under Idaho's open meeting law is a meeting of a public agency's governing body that occurs on a date fixed by law or rule to conduct the agency's business. This means the meeting date and time are either established in the agency's governing body documents or a predetermined schedule.
Okay, so what you're stating is that by us being willing to hold a second meeting in a month at a specific date and time, then we've therefore established it as a regular meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so I think there needs to be conversation then with the board, because I know there are trustees that don't like meeting twice a month. And there's always that hope that we won't need to meet, which there's too much work that needs to be done. We can't conclude it in 1 meeting at a reasonable pace. So if that's the case, then we need to fix it. So can you,
Discussion.
yeah, it'll need to be discussion, and it can be for next week.
Alright.
Just because, yeah, we can't do it. And I will probably make that statement tonight that we need to talk about our regular and special meetings. Alright, so on that note, I guess we can continue reading. So, at each regular meeting, the board held, shall provide time for public input. When the agenda allows for public input, all persons wishing to address the board shall submit a request to address the board form. Forms are available from the board clerk at each meeting and on the district website. Those are on the website, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Public participation shall be heard during public input. Each person shall be allotted 3 minutes for input. In the event a large number of individuals wish to speak on the same issue or topic, a representative may be selected to speak on behalf of the group. To summarize position, what is this? On school and education matters. At regular meetings of the board, I think that changed. Okay. Okay. Time allotment for group participation shall not. Now, we set a norm on the agenda that public input, total time allotment is 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we need to add some language in here that states that. Let me go here. The total time allotted for public input shall not exceed 1 hour. Is that clear?
We don't limit the individuals at all?
We do.
3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay, that's it, okay.
So the total time allotted for public input during a regular meeting of the board shall not exceed 1 hour.
So once we hit an hour,
We're done.
we're done.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which, I mean, sometimes it has been challenging because people have given the same public comment over and over and over and over.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
And
Not
we-
yours.
we've been like, hey, get a representative, you know, and there's the, notion that if, 40 people say the same thing, that maybe we'll hear it, I guess, I don't know.
Yep.
But that's why we went to the 1 hour, cause one meeting, I think we had 2.5 hours of public comment on the same thing.
Jeez,
Yeah, it was not pretty.
sounds brutal.
But that 1 hour is actually pretty standard. For
Yeah, I've seen
a
that.
lot of.
I saw that in 2 of the other districts I was looking at.
So, but we didn't have it posted, so I personally did not feel like I could cut people off and be like, we're done, when it's not told to them anywhere that, hey, we're not gonna just let this go on for hours.
Good decision.
Alright, presentation materials and supporting documentation. Presentation materials and supporting documents, okay, we are at 2:30-ish, 2:29 really. So we can go ahead and stop recording, we'll go ahead and end the meeting.